This is the giant-sized 64-page She-Dragon one-shot from July of 2006. A gorgeous cover by Francesco, with an exclamation point at the end of his name. He does all the interiors as well, so if you like what you see here, stick around. Frontal nudity guaranteed, all for the low price of $5.99. Now, if you look for a copy of this now, it's almost 10 times that. I don't know if this is like a rare book or something, but I never see copies of this when I'm looking around in the back issue bins. It's not like She-Dragon's first appearance. You can find this copy of the Megaton Man crossover at every comic shop in America in triplicate. But this one-shot seems a lot harder to find, and I don't believe it's been reprinted in a collected edition or the trades or anything, but maybe somebody out there knows different. Enough preamble. Let's check this one out, starting with the credits. And this groovy psychedelic font by Erik Larsen here, writer, Francesco, artist. Got 3 colorists listed here, Larsen again, Bill Crabtree, and Val Staples, and Chris Eliopoulos, letterer, and Josh Eckhorn, enlarged to show texture. So She-Dragon, Baptism of Fire. It's a familiar title and a familiar pose. Maybe kind of a callback to the first issue of the miniseries, but more accurately, the layouts of the first 4 pages of this thing come directly from Savage Dragon 118. The story picking up directly from there, where She-Dragon was thrown into Dimension X by Mr. Glum, finds herself floating aimlessly in the void. So that's where these layouts came from. Anyway, she tries hopping around on asteroids, but hits a dead end. So she has nothing to do but ponder how she wound up there. So She-Dragon, this is your life. A flashback providing us with her origin story. How Amy Belcher, a sickly young woman, bedridden and powerless, was transformed into the green-skinned, blonde bombshell named Sensation. The creator, Johnny Redbeard, gifting Amy her new life. This trip down memory lane, interrupted by a space bat. After she wards off an attack by this cosmic creature, she grabs its tail and hitches a ride right into some rocks, knocking herself out, floating by a cameo by G-Man and Friends, and then right in front of this gigantic spacecraft. So while she's unconscious, the flashback picks up where we left off. Sensation as a member of the Nyx Men and their encounter with Savage Dragon. The moment, Amy instantly falling in love with him, as all women do. So she is inspired to become a superhero, leave the Nyx Men, and become the She-Dragon. Her efforts as a sidekick and fangirl, they're rewarded with a brutal defeat at the hands of a possessed dragon and the Wicked Worm. But back to reality, or Dimension X. She-Dragon was captured by that ship and then forced into doing backbreaking labor, carrying around giant rocks, getting physically reprimanded by this slave-driving bitch named Battle Axe. Her only food is this alien slop filled with brains and eyeballs. So time goes by, months and months, under these conditions, hardening the physique of our heroine, turning her into a real muscle mommy. This is basically the first 5 minutes of Conan the Barbarian, where you got this young boy strapped to the wheel of pain, has to spend years turning the wheel. Then by the end of the montage, he's Arnold Schwarzenegger, a total badass. So with her new strength, She-Dragon decides to lead a slave revolt, but that is unsuccessful. And she is sent to the gulag, where she's stripped and beaten and hosed down. Some Rambo First Blood action there, so we're getting even more 80s inspiration here. Then one of the prison guards, with 3 eyes, takes a look at this green-skinned lady with her tits hanging out and is like, hey, she looks pretty good. She should be in the Emperor's harem. So she gets a makeover and joins the girls who serve Emperor Gorgod. And this dude looks familiar, and I realized where. It's from the front cover. This guy has his head cut off. I don't think it's going to go well for him. So his days as Emperor may be numbered. Anyway, he gets rough with She-Dragon, and she decides to fight back. Then we cut to elsewhere in Dimension X. Look at this thing. Malcolm Dragon piloting a red convertible. Got Angel riding shotgun. The Johnson twins, Jenny in the back seat. So we haven't seen these kids since issue 103, where they were tossed into Dimension X moments before their world was devoured by Universo. 4 years ago. It's been a while. So they don't look much older, though. I'll come back to that later. Dimension X just seems to be like a storage container for these characters, like Larson's toy box, where he can stash them away and then pull them out later when he needs them. So anyway, the kids, they are conveniently on the same planet as She-Dragon. So while she's getting her ass kicked by Gorgod, there are some real gratuitous panels on this page. Thank you very much. And then back to the flying car here with the kids taking some damage, so they're not going to be airborne much longer. She-Dragon is naked and afraid, desperate to make her escape, losing her barely there outfit. Then in this tiny panel, just blink and you'll miss it, she stabs the main villain right through the chest. You'd think that would be a bigger moment, but I guess Francesco was saving his powder for the next page. The reveal of She-Dragon's new outfit, standing triumphant over her defeated opponent, the sword provocatively positioned between her legs. Apparently, she stole Red Sonja's gear off panel. A gold bikini, an obvious choice for a warrior to wear to battle. So while she gets dressed, if you can slide your eyes over to the right side of the page there, it's Malcolm Dragon's wild ride. Damn kid stinks at driving. He's just bouncing off shit. Angel is sent flying out of the vehicle. Should have been wearing a seatbelt. And she's captured by Battle Axe, and they witness the flying car go smashing into some kind of shield generator, but luckily the kids bail out of there before impact. But this causes a huge explosion, giving She-Dragon the distraction she needs to escape the clutches of Gorgod. Somehow he survived the sword through the chest. And then our stories converge. She-Dragon running into Battle Axe and Angel, who she rescues. And they're familiar with each other, but they don't realize that they're from different worlds. And then Gorgod, this asshole again. When's he going to get his fucking head chopped off? Hell yeah, the next panel. Head removed, as promised. Anyways, that explosion a few pages back, that was apparently a shield generator, and now that it's blowed up, everyone has to leave the planet, because the world is about to be devoured by the awesome eater. But let's go back to this other panel here. Look at this Malcolm kid, man. He grew up in like 15 minutes. Let's go back to an earlier page. Sorry, give me some time. We can see that. Yeah, look at the difference here between these two guys. He looks like a toddler over here. Then he's this muscled up dude. So Malcolm's birthday is like 1996, so 2006. Does that look like a 10-year-old to you? I don't know. Dimension X does weird things to time and people, I guess. So anyway, Angel thinks Malcolm is dead. Malcolm thinks Angel is dead. A real Romeo and Juliet kind of third act dilemma there. But She-Dragon promises to take Angel home. Then they head to Glumworld, where they think they can get back to Earth from there. And it looks like they may have some company besides the victims of this genocidal lynching. Jesus. And let's see, Battle Axe. She wants revenge for the destruction of her planet, so she has followed them there as well. But She-Dragon and Angel, they escape just in time, instantly arriving back on Earth, where that will lead directly to Savage Dragon number 128. You can see that panel layout. So at least these bottom three there are exactly the same, but we'll get to that later in the mainline continuity. I'll cover that at some point. But back to this book. Dark Dragon, reintroduced. That's another Larson character thrown into the toy box of Dimension X. He'll make a return soon, along with Battle Axe. So, all in all, a very critical story, an important piece of Savage Dragon continuity that maybe a lot of folks haven't seen before. Though if this was your first introduction into this world, it would be incredibly confusing, which is the purpose of this afterword by Erik Larson. A very thorough recap of Savage Dragon history and where this story kind of fits in, but unnecessary for our purposes. So next we have 17 pages of sketchbook material. Very interesting stuff. You can kind of see the original Larson layouts and then compare them to the finished product. You can see the choices made by Francesco. Sometimes he's like very loyal to the layouts. Some panels, not so much. We've got some character designs and like battle axe here. And then that full frontal that I promised earlier. There you go. I don't know how long I can stay on there. What else do we got? Cover sketches. This one's pretty close to the final product there, but they used a different face. Some alternate covers. A real, and kind of maybe some pinups here. Just a real showcase for Francesco and his talent here. More cover designs and pinups. Sketchbook material. Just a really great package altogether, all the way to the back cover. So I hope y'all enjoyed that slight diversion this week. Next time is back to our regularly scheduled program and Savage Dragon 127. Adios.